It's extremely clear at almost every coin show I attend that the walk-through and foot traffic is declining at such a steady pace. When you look at a collectible comic book show or toy show, every dealer has a live stream going. Every show has 3 or 4 major social media sites and hired people running them year-round. You know how many comic book show ads I've seen on Instagram, but I've never seen a fun show ad?
I get it.
Right,
So,
I've never seen an A&A ad.
The whole notion that the coin industry is 10 years behind, doesn't have to be the case.
I think it's just time these coin shows either step up or they're going to get consumed eventually by other shows. Like, what's keeping Comic-Con from just going like, hey, coin dealers, let's get
it's
you
gonna
too.
happen. It's just gonna take more time.
Welcome to the Premier Coin Report, your weekly numismatic update. I'm joined as always by 3 coin dealers from across the planet. Jeffrey being from Florida. We've got Kurt Gammer from Washington and Charles from Vegas, who's right now at the Pan Show.
The great state of Pennsylvania.
Heck yeah. I love it.
You know it's great. It's the best.
It's beautiful.
I'm live right now from the PAN, the Pennsylvania Association of Numismatists. They do a show twice a year, and it's a really good show. It's the first time I'm actually set up here, but I like it. You know, I have a lot of customers in Pennsylvania, believe it or not, and you know, especially one that's like pretty close by, who's going to come here tomorrow to see me, and it's just, you know, Pennsylvania is a great for collectors, very well established coin clubs that have been around a long time, you know, tremendous history in the state. So it's great for collecting. It's great for coins.
Just great to live too, by the way, if you don't know.
Oh, that's a pretty reasonable sized show too. That's pretty big.
Oh yeah. And you know, the people that come, I mean, the people that put on this show are super nice and very welcoming, and they do a great job. Like, literally, this is, I'll give you an example. Like, there's plenty of local shows around me that I don't do because I just wouldn't sell coins there. But I could, even at my level of inventory, I could still sell stuff here at the show, and it's a smaller show. So I don't know if that puts it in perspective
awesome
for you.
Kurt, have you ever been to the Pan Show?
Believe it or not, I actually have never attended a Pan Show in my life. I've heard great things about it. Pennsylvania is a very awkward state. People don't realize it takes about 7.5 hours to drive from tip to tip. I was born and raised on the eastern half of Pennsylvania, almost closer to New York City than I am Philadelphia. And so it would actually have been quicker for me to travel to the Baltimore Show growing up, which was my first regional show. And as, you know, a young kid begging his parents to go to a coin show, they would have much rather a 3-hour drive compared to a 7-hour drive. It was also just awkward because it's also a 2-hour flight, and if I'm flying for a show, I would have rather gone to Central States or Fun. So, and also the way it times usually falls in right in the middle of a semester. And since I've been in school pretty much every year since I was, I've never taken a year off school. It's just been very hard for me to make it. But there's some great people with the Pennsylvania Association of Numismatists. For a brief period there in high school, I was one of the only district reps on the eastern side of the state. Thomas Urum, who's the president of the ANA right now. He's a great guy, and before that he was president of PAN, so he's a friend of mine. So really great show. Can't wait for my first visit there.
Yeah, awesome. Charles, do you have like a highlight that you saw? You got to walk around the show a little bit. Is there something that stood out to you while you were walking?
Nothing in particular. I haven't had much time to really roam around, but I'm sure there's really, I saw some really nice gold examples of different stuff. I've been buying a series of 5 Indians for a customer, so I just took a browse at that, and I saw some decent coins that I may circle back with them on, that may wind up for this particular collector. But yeah, there's definitely good material here for sure.
Is there anything that you look out for your own personal collection when you're at a show? Like, I mean, you're probably not buying all the time for yourself, but is there that one thing that, like, you walk by a booth and it's like, I gotta get it?
It's funny you say that. Like, I think me and Kurt off camera, we just had this conversation where, yeah, I don't personally collect, and I think Kurt will concur with me on this because it's probably a conflict of interest. Because if I'm working on sets for clients, then and I'm doing one, of course you're going to want to keep the best coins for yourself. You know what I mean? And that's hard to say.
Sure.
Like at some point, I don't want to compete with my clients. If that makes any sense.
That's fair.
But eventually, when I
Yeah, that
retire,
makes sense. I think
I will definitely collect for sure. I mean, I'd love to just do a type, collection, just buy the best example of every different design. I think that would be
yeah,
cool. And then, there's particular designs
that's okay.
that I like. I really like, believe it or not, I like the piece dollar design, which is really tough to find, like very high grade piece dollars, nice ones that don't look, you know, with spotty or weird. And then,
Yeah.
I like the 10 Indian design, Augustus Humbert's
Well,
classic
Indians are
design.
great.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course,
I like
Yeah,
my
we were
10
dream,
just
Indians.
talking about those too.
my
It's
dream
just pretty
coin
crazy. Only
is,
the 2, 5, and 10.
well, my dream coin is the Jug
Sorry.
1776. So that,
Yep, I
that
was
would be
just
like,
about to say that.
that
Yep.
would be my ideal dream because you have the double eagle reverse on there with then the 10 Indian obverse, which is actually Humbert preferred that design for the $20 gold piece. I don't know if you know that, but there was backlash
Which one is that? So
with
I can
St.
look at the
Roosevelt.
Gaudens.
picture on screen.
Yeah. So with Saint Gaudens
Humber was
actually
dead.
he preferred that design. So if he would have had his way on the $20 gold piece, you would have seen the Indian head design like you see on the 10. And then on the reverse, you would have seen the double eagle like
Which
you do normally, which would have been
Dude, that's
crazy.
which would have been
so
insane. Yeah.
Yeah,
And most
that's
people
it
don't
right there. Yep.
realize that
Yep.
there is no $1 and there is no $20 Saint.
Just an
So
Which is
amazing
really
that
coin.
crazy.
that particular coin, if I'll tell you right now, if it were to come up for auction today, it would be the most expensive coin ever to sell in history.
Yep.
So there's
that's
been
beautiful.
upwards of
That's
$20 million
awesome.
offered on that particular coin.
More than
And
that. Yeah, I mean,
it's in a private
more
collection right
multiples
now,
of
and
that.
he's turned it down. So yeah, there's that.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. It's like that. It's like that guy who
Wow.
had all 10 PSA 10 Charizards.
Not comparable
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
No, this is
No.
way better
Not
than
yeah,
that. This is
not
way
not
better than
comparing.
any
Yeah,
Pokemon
For
card.
in
sure.
our opinion, I mean,
We
maybe I'm
gotta we gotta
biased because I'm
dumb
a
things
coin
down for
guy.
the Pokemon crowd, guys.
But
That's just
yeah, no, it's
crazy.
pretty incredible. Yeah, that would be my dream coin. Like if I could own any coin, like that would be the one that I would own and never sell. I mean,
Heck yeah, I like it.
I
I
think I would
wanted
do a
to
Gold
take
Eid
this.
Mar.
A
oh, the
Gold
Gold
Eid
Eyed
Mar.
Mar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's
Good
not,
thing you
even though
didn't
there are
have the
more than one, I
opportunity to
think the
buy
one
that
that,
one, right?
what?
Yeah, there was one that
No,
came
I
up for
said
auction
good thing.
recently at a Kunker auction, right?
Yeah, but it was illegal. So I don't know what is that? There was
Really?
Ars Classica
No,
sold
that
that
was the one that sold at Roma, Chuck. Chuck, that was the one that sold at Roma, not the one that sold
at
at Conquer.
Roma, right? So Roma's no more after that. You know, they
Yeah.
I believe on that coin they forged the paperwork, and it was they illegally took it out
That's
Wow.
of
what's
Greece or
alleged. That's
something.
what's alleged. You know, it's we
Yeah,
live in an
That's
innocent
crazy.
until proven guilty. But yeah, that's what's alleged is
correct,
that it,
correct. Yeah, so that's what's
that it was
alleged, and
smuggled
U.S.
out of a
based
state.
auction house.
no, I believe they were out of England, Roma, if I'm not mistaken. But someone paid
Okay,
what was it, six
that's crazy.
million
I
they
gotta look
bought?
into that.
They paid for that? Yeah, but that
That's
would be a
crazy.
crazy
I don't
coin
think it was
too, a
that
gold
much.
eyed Mar. There's probably
Yeah.
more than we think there
You got to
are,
be
but
careful nowadays.
yeah, especially with ancients. Especially
All
with
right, I gotta get us
ancients.
back on track here, guys. I gotta get us back on track. I wanted to take this moment to,
Can you guys hear
uh,
me?
yeah, we can.
Okay, sorry.
I wanted to take this time to look at a couple of more of the coin shows that are coming up this weekend. Obviously, right now, the 16th through the 18th is the Pan Show. But over the next few days, here's a list of the next coin shows. I'm not going to read through all of them, but you guys are welcome to pause here Northwest Valley in Arizona, I think, is a pretty big show. And there's a Vegas National show. Charles, you're going to be a little busy at the Pan show, but
Yes, yes.
yeah. Just
Shout out to the Vegas National Show. That's a pretty good show. They do well on social media as well. I really like that Vegas show. They do one thing I'll give them the props for. They make it a snake through style of show. So even though it's a little bit smaller of a show, there's an entrance and there's an exit. And you have to follow through like a snake through the show. So they kind of like force everyone to go through and observe everybody as you make your way out. So, I mean, I find that to be a really cool, unique thing.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
IKEA.
something that you are pretty passionate about, right, Jeff? The online presence and marketing of coin shows in general. I mean, there's pretty much nothing going on when it comes to marketing.
I mean,
for coin shows.
it's extremely clear at almost every coin show I attend that the new walkthrough and foot traffic is declining at such a steady pace. The shows cannot compete with the online Instagram, YouTube, whatnot, eBay shows. So what you're seeing now, in my opinion, at the coin shows are legacy collectors and legacy dealers that have just been doing this for too long. And it's a real shame that you don't see, a fun show, social media campaign with tons of people that are trying to get the new people out there, that are collaborating with everyone. Like the fun show doesn't have it. The ANA show just got one like a year or two ago. I don't think the Pan show has one. I don't know if the Baltimore show has one. So a lot of these major shows don't have anything like that. And I've talked to every show runner and stuff, and I've asked them the same question, where are the advertising dollars going? Because I don't see the ads. I don't see the YouTube or Hulu or Netflix or, Instagram ads, Facebook ads. I don't see the posts. I don't see the collaborations.
They go in the
real bummer
packets. It's
considering
all
that,
domestic.
But no one that is in the demographic of these shows, like, how is it that Pokemon cards can come and go so much faster? Like, Pokemon shows were non-existent 10 years ago.
Yeah, but
They didn't
there's a
exist. They
big
didn't
audience
exist.
for that.
But-
Big audience
but-
for that.
But I don't disagree, but I don't think that
think
there's a
there's a big
bigger
audience
audience. Exactly. And the difference is when you look at a collectible comic book show or toy show, right? Every dealer has a live stream going. Every show has 3 or 4 major, social media sites and hired people running them year round. All right, the clout is like, how many Collectorama ads I've seen on Instagram, but I've never seen a fun show ad.
I get it.
Right,
So
I've never seen an A&A ad.
what you're thinking is
it's
you got to
absurd.
understand,
It's
like
mind-blowing.
the coin industry is maybe like 10 years behind. So this will happen, but it'll happen
course.
eventually. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen right
And
now.
also, it doesn't have to be that way. I've heard that line so many times in my career. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the whole notion that the coin industry is 10 years behind,
They're not.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the case. We could take
It's
steps
just
today
the people
to bring us-
running it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It really is. Because
to an
Well,
extent.
I will tell you
100%, but
this.
there's
So
no
like,
reason for the fun show and the other shows to be putting stuff in the magazines and all the organic stuff because all those people are already going. I
Okay,
don't know
but
one coin dealer
I
that's
will
been
tell
to the
you
fun
this,
show or
like-
the A&A in 10 years. Hold on, Charles. Let me finish this one thought.
Sure.
What I'm saying is I don't know one dealer or one legacy collector that's been going to the fun show and the A&A for 10 years that ain't going to the fun show and the A&A for 10 years. And some magazine is going to convince them to go or not go this year. It's unfortunate, but I just totally disagree with the advertising budget, how it's being spent, and what these big shows are doing. They're watching the shows dissipate and go elsewhere. Because look at the Whatnot community. Look at the eBay community. There's clearly thousands of people out there that have no clue the fun show and the A&A show exist, but they're buying numismatics. They're learning. They want to learn. They're following. They're doing these crazy things. Yo, my other bearded man. But I don't know. I'm just so passionate about this topic because it really just grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin would say. That these things aren't taken seriously by the people that are in charge of the shows. Maybe it's time to pass the baton to the next generation.
Yeah, Charles, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, a couple things. Like, one, I do see new people coming to the shows. Like, there's younger people and the new crowd coming in. And two, I always do better for my particular inventory and stuff and the coins that we get we always do better with the traditional forms of advertising than we do online. Like we've ran Instagram ads and all this stuff, and it's really hasn't. I haven't seen the ROI from it yet, but I do see the ROI definitely from the traditional media forms because largely, I mean, the collectors of a $40,000 coin are going to tend to be older, and we do have younger guys
Right,
now that
and
are
I
stepping
think there's
in.
also
Yeah, go ahead, Isaac.
yeah, I would say there's also a smaller group of people who's interested in buying a $40,000 coin,
Correct,
just for the
correct. Yeah.
general advertising of coin
Yeah, but
collecting,
but I
not
would I
necessarily to
would
the benefit of dealers, but just to push this,
I would also
hobby out
argue to
and make it more
say,
popular. That's sort of, I think, what Jeff is
Well,
trying to touch
those
on. It's
people,
like,
yeah,
those
and I
people
would
that
still
you already
argue
have
that
the
most
guys
of
who are
those
buying the
customers
$40,000
are
coins.
also on social media as well. So like if you were to take like some, if you were to ask everyone that walked through the door of a coin show and then split them up by the size of coins they buy and ask them, do you have any social media whatsoever? I would be surprised to see those outcomes because I believe there'd be more people that would have some form of Facebook, X account, a YouTube than don't. Right. So, I mean, it's just a matter of getting it in front of the right people. I mean, obviously, advertising, in an A&A magazine is just, that is your exact demographic that it's mailing it out to. So, that is hardcore. But I do
right.
believe that you could get a $40,000 coin with the same budget on an Instagram in front of the right people and do well.
Um,
It's just kind of, I think it's just time, that, these coin shows either step up or they're going to get consumed eventually by other coin shows. Like, what's keeping
well,
Comic-Con from just
it
going like, hey, coin
it's
dealers,
gonna
let's
it's
get you
gonna
too.
happen. It's just gonna take more time. Like everything that you're saying is true, and it's good that like at least you guys are ahead of the curve. You're on there, so you'll within the next 5 years, you guys will be more. Whoever's doing this stuff will be more at the forefront of it. So I think that's a good thing. It's going to happen. It's just going to take
Yeah,
more time for our industry to adapt to that. But I do see it
I think,
ultimately going that direction.
yeah, I see us. I don't know that the phrase the coin industry is 10 years behind is the case right now. I think it definitely has been the case. But more and more, I'm seeing smaller accounts just posting about the coins that they have, or joining the live stream, or brand new people. I just had some large account. They're a family. They go do like travel blogs and stuff. And I was like, hey, do you guys do any coin collecting stuff? They're like, yeah, we're going out every time. We travel a lot. We pick up a coin here and there. Where we're at. So I think we're headed towards a ramping up in the progression of the industry, the hobby in general. I think it's in motion as we speak. I agree with Charles that we probably need more time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so to speak.
Right.
But I think we're headed in that direction.
Yes.
Moving right along, I don't want we got a little heated on the coin show stuff, but that's to be expected. We're gonna move on to probably the biggest news. I don't know. I've got a little bit of gold price fatigue at this point. I took a screenshot this morning, and it was 42.58. I opened Kitco 3 minutes ago, 42.90, up $83 for the day on gold. Silver's up at $53. I don't know what the all-time high for silver is, but
It's right now. It's right now.
Right.
This is it.
Yep.
There you go. It's
Yep.
the last time, didn't it last for like a couple minutes?
Yeah, this is not a couple minutes. I mean, I think
15.
49 something was a couple minutes, so it blew past. Yeah, it blew past that a little bit ago.
Dude,
so
it says 43.13 on my screen right now.
Wild.
Up 85
I mean, like-
bucks for the day. The gold I bought yesterday is worth $100 more per ounce than it's just insanity. So we started this podcast August 1st roughly.
And I can't believe we
Roundabout,
did
yeah.
too. Just looking at those gold prices
Gold
back
was
then, Kurt. That's
gold was
crazy.
$331 when we started this gold was $3,311.80 the day of our first episode, and I told people that I was buying Type 1s, and I never gave financial advice, but I said that I'm buying Type 120s, and I think they're a great deal. And now every single Type 120 I bought is worth 25% more than what I paid for it back in August.
That's
What does it say about
just to
the
tap
dollar?
on that, Kurt.
You know?
You know what's really crazy? Hold on, check this out before we head on to the dollar, Charles. This is super crazy, right? Because I think this is the first time this has ever happened. But we told everyone to go out and buy that sunflower coin because we thought it was beautiful and we thought it was rare. Well, throw all of our words in the trash, because if you'd have bought that coin from the U.S. Mint for $4,200, it's worth $4,280 now melt. Like, I don't think there's ever been a time period in history where the U.S. Mint has released something, and then 3 months later it was worth more if you melted it down.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Every time I open Instagram, every time I look anywhere, it's everyone's posting their screenshots of the futures and stuff. I have a couple of little fun facts about gold if we want to go through it a little bit. Now it is from Grok, so I don't know how accurate these are, but supposedly just 160,000 tons have ever been mined of gold.
It's definitely not a
like
lot.
that much. It doesn't
No,
sound
it's
like
not.
that
They
much.
say all the gold that's known in the world could fit in an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
crazy.
pretty
And, like,
crazy.
This is a statistic that I went and looked up. I went in and did some digging because I was curious. I saw that. I was thinking, it could all fit in an Olympic-sized pool. That's pretty big. So I got curious about how much gold is actually being refined on a yearly basis. I went and looked into it, and I found this chart of the refinery gold productions for the last. It's skipping the last 4 years, but from 2010 to 2020.
Wow, it's going down.
It's going down. The dark blue number is scrap. So that's jewelry. That's random. Stuff that has gold on it, whatever, they melt that down. The blue number is new gold that's been mined. So the overall number over time has gone down, but this is 170
You know why?
metric tons of gold that has been mined.
So a lot of the
last
investment in that technology for shell fracking went into oil shell fracking production. So all the innovations in mining has gone into the oil and gas side of the world, and there hasn't been any new major innovations in mining technology for metals. So, to my knowledge, at least, and I think that's led to like overall less production of mining efforts, less gold coming out of the ground because of that. It's just very difficult to do. To get 1 ounce of gold, I believe it takes like 8 metric tons of earth you'd have to dig through. And there's been no major new innovations in the mining technology of that metals. All the money and investment went into developing new technologies for shale oil and fracking.
And I saw one weird comment, which, I don't know how true it is, but, most of the stuff that we're mining are mines that we've known about for 100 years. So the crazy part about it is that, like, all the easy gold to mine and stuff that we found right off the bat, the stuff that's flowing in rivers, that stuff's been collected a long time ago. So it's only getting to the harder and more difficult places that have been put off by older technology in an older time. So it's not like we're discovering new gold and we're just like, oh, let's, wild, wild west it. No, we're like, we've known this exists. It's this, it ain't worth it yet kind of situation. So just to double tap on that, it's just pretty crazy to see that compound on itself.
Yeah, super interesting. Charles, I know that you've got some feelings about the dollar, and you talked about last week the de-dollarization of the economy. I saw recently a story as well I thought I'd bring up because it kind of ties into this, where El Salvador, which has previously not had their own paper currency. They've used the dollar and Bitcoin as legal currency in El Salvador. They're now looking into creating their own polymer notes. I don't know that this is like them trying to get off of using the dollar, but they're now talking with a company in Vietnam who produces polymer notes for other countries,
Oh,
and
wow.
seems to be in the works.
Just to be fair, El Salvador's president seems to say to shoot out 10 ideas for every one that they actually end up adopting. Um, but yeah, his play on Bitcoin paid off in a big way. But yeah, very interesting
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I like polymer notes. I'm a big fan of them. But Charles, what? I'll give you a second to kind of give your opinions. We're at $4,300 gold right now. I know there's a mentality of the price of gold isn't necessarily that gold is now worth $4,300. It's that the dollar is now worth less, so you need more of them to buy the gold. What's your stance on the whole precious metals world?
I mean, I don't know, how's everyone's grocery bills been for the last 2 years? How expensive really is things getting? It's just is what it is. It's just, I think it's
Uh,
a lot of foreign governments came in to buy gold as of recent, and I think that's to take some risk off the table with dollar denominated assets. Gold's a good way to do that. Our central bank holds that. Central banks around the world hold gold as a reserve asset, right? So, and that's increased, and that I think largely that was driving prices. And then there's, other people frenzy on top of that when you see high prices. So now here we are, $4,200 gold or whatever. I mean, is it crazy to me who's been in the game for as long as I have? Yeah, but is it really crazy in the sense that like what our dollar is right now and how expensive everything is? Probably not. So it's anyone's call. I mean, you can make
Yeah,
an
so you're
argument for
saying,
both sides, but I'm not surprised. I'm really not. To me, it's catching up to where I thought it should have been, well over a year ago. So just my
so you're
opinion.
saying just sort of in the context of the last 15 years, it sort of makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I, due to monetary policy and the way things are going, the deficit keeps getting bigger and bigger. I don't, like, there's a lot of issues. There's a government
Something has
shutdown
to.
right now. I mean, like, there's a lot of things
Right.
going on, and definitely people around the world want to take some risk off the table in dollar denominated assets, and they're not going to do that entirely, but gold is a decent way to do that. It's historically it's money, right? It's the international currency. You can take 1 ounce of gold anywhere in the world and exchange it for any paper currency you want. It's money. Any way you want to look at it. I mean, people could say whatever they want about gold. They could say it's this, it's that, it's a relic, whatever they want, but it's money. You could take it anywhere in the world and exchange it for any paper currency. So, it's hard. Our
Right.
our
When I
our
was
own government holds it on account. So there you go. I don't,
Yeah, which
what else? What
I
else is there
now
to say?
want them to go look at Fort Knox and weigh everything up. Let's see what the total
Well,
value is at this point.
they
That would
said
be
they were
really
going to
sick.
do it, right? They said they were going to do it at one point, I think. I do know the
Look,
Fed has
man,
tons of
if
gold
I live life
because
based off what people say they're gonna do, I would I'd
the
be waiting.
the Fed,
I'd be waiting a long
remember
time. Uh,
remember the New York bars we did? So the Fed has tons of
yeah.
New
Yeah.
York bars that are the 400-ounce class. They have those. They have San Francisco 400 ounces. They have like all these cool assay ingots that are sitting in the New York Fed right now. They have a big Denver gold bars
Go
400
get
with the
them.
Denver
Yeah,
Mint stamp
I,
on
I,
it.
I just
Oh,
looked
I
it up. It
wish.
says
I
there's
wish.
261.5 million troy ounces of gold. Jesus.
Wow.
That's wild.
Where in
That's like
general,
4
or
point something trillion or something.
It's $1.14 trillion calculated at the current rate.
okay? Well, what is it with the
It's a lot.
reported what the
Um,
U.S. holds? I think it took about 1.5 trillion off of our deficit with gold prices rising, right? Is that's what I heard. I'm not sure if that's accurate,
Maybe
but
is that the goal? Is that the
yeah,
goal?
and
We just
our gold
make
reserve. I
gold go
mean,
up to the
not that
point
that's
where we
saying
have
much.
enough to pay for everything?
What is our total deficit now? It's like 34 trillion or something like that.
So our
Too
deficit
much.
payments for the first time in American history today, the payments that we're going to make on the interest of our loans will supersede that we of our defense budget. So we're now paying more in interest on our loans than we do on protecting this country.
And
Bad
protecting
news.
our country is the largest queue in the Excel file for spending and budgeting.
Yeah, it's like half our GDP.
Yeah.
The Fed is the
So the
bank of
other
the
half goes
world.
to
I mean,
budgeting.
just is what it is. It's the bank of the world everywhere. I
Everyone's
mean,
in debt. It's all. I literally saw a joke the other day where it was like, oh, OpenAI is giving $10 billion to AMD, and AMD is giving that $10 billion to the next. Everyone's in debt. China's in debt with the U.S. U.S. is in debt with China. They're in debt with.
Yep.
Everyone's in debt with everybody. If we canceled out all
right.
the
We were
debt
talking about
tomorrow,
that last week with OpenAI.
it's
Yes.
what do they call it in the Wolf of Wall Street? It's a fugazi, like debt.
Very does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up as well. I was on stream earlier, and obviously, I want to open this up with saying
The
we are
Connecticut.
not
I'll tell
financial
you.
experts by any means. I may be working on that, but I'm not a financial expert by any means. So don't take this as financial advice. But somebody came into my stream earlier and asked, what is the best way to invest in gold? And I told them, don't. Because I don't feel like, this is a feeling, I don't feel like you should treat it as an investment. If you're buying gold, I think people have this idea of the last 5 years of digital investing. You can open your Robinhood account and put your whole bank account into Bitcoin right now with an instant transfer. That wasn't the case 30 years ago, but I feel like the investment strategies have shifted more to like a day trading, pseudo gambling style. And that's not really how it
Let's see.
works. The best way to invest in gold is just to buy as much as you can afford within your budget. And then when you're 40, you'll have a bunch of it. Like it's not a buy gold right now and then I'm going to sell it tomorrow to make $100 profit. That's kind of worthless. Doesn't do anything. It's a little silly. I wanted to say that. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on that.
Yeah.
That's my
I mean,
opinions on it.
my best advice is if you're looking to buy gold or silver, right? Find 2 or 3 of the most closest, numismatic coin dealer shops by you. Try to build a relationship with 1 or 2 of them, and just let them know what your budget is and what you're looking for. And usually stuff comes in over the counter, and if they know they already have a buyer, they're able to make that trade and that spread real quickly, and that'll give you the best bang for your buck. Because there's some times where I'll get a whole bunch of raw type gold that comes in that does have a premium, and if I know I got a guy down the street that wants to buy a bunch, I'll just call him up and let him know that I have it. And that way it's a quick transaction. I pay for the stuff. An hour later, they come pick up the stuff. It's a good relationship, and they're getting premium coins at spot usually or slightly over, and it's the best deal. And most coin dealers I know, they're the same way. And so, if you're looking to buy gold or silver, my advice: find 2 or 3 local shops around you. Walk in, spend the work introducing yourself and finding the ones you like best, and just kind of go from there. And you'll build a relationship with at
66.
least one of them.
Nice. Nice.
They'll be trustworthy,
Pretty
and
coins.
they'll be able to keep that stuff out
Wow.
there for you. Look at Charles
Very,
over here
very-
dealing in 6-figure coins.
Yeah, just casually. Yeah, 1,600.
Yeah.
Kurt, what are your thoughts on this? What's your
Wow.
relationship with precious metals right now?
I would look up George B. McClellan's or was it McClellan that gave the speech about running for president? It was if nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. Me as a numismatist, I'm a rare coin specialist. Isaac Newton in 1723, one of the most brilliant men to ever live, most people agree, lost the majority of his fortune in the bullish run of the South Sea Company, 1723, and one of the first modern conceptions of a stock market crash. And he said, I can understand the divine sciences, but I'll never be able to figure out the madness of man. I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm going to keep buying the coins I like because I like them. Historically, the most successful of my mentors and coin dealers, most prolific guys, never pitched coins as an investment. And it's a hobby and a pastime and an exercise in learning. Usually, an educated collector that buys what they like they do very well historically over time when it's a well-timed liquidation event. So I'm going to keep buying the coins I like and selling them to people I like. The price of gold doesn't really have too much to weigh in except the actual the gross price of the coin. So I know that's a little bit skirting the question here, but I can't.
No,
I mean, that's what I got. I buy what I like because I like it.
What you just said is my point. Like, if you're coming at this from I have $1,000 and this needs to be $2,000 in 30 days. Don't put that into coins. But
I would talk to your financial advisor. Yeah, not
you
me.
have $3,000 and you want to put together a collection that, one, you get to leave to your kids or your family if something ever would to happen to you. This is a pretty good insurance policy. I mean, you can look at any of the major massive collections that are selling for hundreds of millions of dollars this year. It's just like it's a stable thing you can put money into, and historically, the money hasn't disappeared on every coin. I'll say that. Charles, I mean, obviously you don't collect that much, and you mostly deal with the higher end stuff. Does spot price really affect your day-to-day operations?
No, in type gold it would. I mean, like, for common day type gold, it certainly affects that. I mean, because the pre-33 gold is somewhat can be like semi-numismatic. So it's a coin, but then at the same time, a lot of them trade like bullion. So all the generic dates, I mean, those are going to be close to the gold price typically. I mean, we kind of just make a price on that. Like if at some point it was like a month or so ago, we bought a bunch of saints in libs. It was like a mix of 20 saints and 20 libs. We bought like a lot of them raw. So it was, pretty much we paid like gold right around what the gold price is. We kind of just make a spread on that stuff, and then we'll parse it out to different people that buy from us that, that do that in bulk. Whether we have a couple clients that'll just buy generic, saints if they come in.
Right. Sure. This is
Yeah. So then the gold price impacts that.
I've Sure. So then on the obverse side of that, how much, if at all, I don't think the answer is at all, but I don't know. I have a hard time wrapping my head around this concept. Let's say you've got a Stella. It's $400,000.
Right.
Gold goes up by $300. Is it $400,300?
Oh,
or
interesting.
does the numismatic value kind of just hold?
Okay, to that specific question, no, the numismatic value holds for that. But I do believe, okay, that there's a psychological element to the gold price in coin market in general. So now you could disagree with me on this, but
Okay.
from what my perspective is, I always felt and noticed that strong metals prices tends to have somewhat of a support to the overall coin market. I don't know why that's the case or why that, but that I've certainly noticed that in my lifetime, and I don't know if you guys have or Jeff has or even Kurt, as young as he is. But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some psychology there to the metals prices being strong in the overall coin market.
Sure.
But will it directly impact the price of that coin? No. I mean, you're talking about a rarity that's, highly desirable coin for any major type collector, anyone who
Right.
collects gold. I mean, there's a lot of big collectors that would be buying Stellas, especially the coiled haired ones.
Yeah, for sure. I've had the honor of filming a handful of Stellas. I feel like that's crazy to say because I don't think
It's cool.
90% of people on the planet even know what that is, let alone have seen
Yeah.
it.
One second, I got to pull up a photo now that you bring that
Do you
up because
like
I'm
that
also
design,
one of the few
Isaac?
people that have done that.
Do you like
It's
that
pretty
design?
cool,
Yeah.
and I like the story behind it, even though it's probably not true. But the fact that it didn't supposedly didn't go into circulation because it got a bad rap for being in the brothels,
Um,
I think that's kind of funny.
I
Kinda.
never asked you this. What's your favorite
We've
design
got
now?
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an Isaac question.
Yeah, you.
Isaac question. That's tough. I'm really partial to a Mercury dime.
Really,
Um,
Mercs.
I don't.
Nice.
It's a nice coin. I think in any condition, that's a good looking coin.
Yeah.
That's not an unreasonable take.
Adolf Weidman.
I know it's kind of simple, but they're easy to collect, super cheap, plenty of variety. I mean, yeah. I like
No,
it.
it's a very nice
Almost
design.
$4 in silver now.
Wow.
There is the all-time finest barber registry set is being offered at auction. I
Kurt's
don't
the
know a whole
man.
ton about this. I know barber stuff. Yeah, Kurt's gonna
Let's go,
probably be our
Kurt.
best info haver on this one. Pardon my caveman speak here.
He loves Barbara.
But yeah, DLRC will feature one of the most complete and highest graded barber coin collections ever assembled, the Chug Collection. There we are again with a guy who put together a solid collection. Now his name is on the coins, and they're going up for auction with a lot of hype. There are 3 different groupings of coins, but the basic idea is that these are just super high grade, and barber coinage doesn't grade that high. Kurt, what the heck are we looking at?
From what I know, the collection is not just dimes, but quarters and halves, right?
Yeah, quarters and
So,
halves.
at the time, barbers represented basically the workhouse of American society. It's very hard to find barber coin. I mean, you take a look at a bag of walkers, you're going to find some AUs, and if you look at a bag of walkers, you're probably going to find a slidery example. I've sorted through bags and bags and rolls and rolls and rolls of barbers, and I've never found anything more than an XF in my entire life. So if that goes to show you, I'm sure you can look at the mintages to the survival rate and uncirculated. Barbers in general have a lower ratio than that of Seated Liberty or the later designs by far. They just seem to have been saved less. Money was worth more. Dates like the 96.0, 50 cent, and Choice Unk would be great. I think they have an ONS quarter in MS63 and a 92.0 micro O, which is the $50 super rare variety. Off the top of my head, I think it's a complete set. Although it would be really cool if they had a 94S proof dime, but I don't think this set has one. But other than that, I think the set is complete. So, really
Oh,
cool
it's like
set.
every date. That's sick.
A lot of people don't realize this, but David Lawrence started, to the best of my knowledge,
Yeah.
the Feigenbaum, DLRC started, to the best of my knowledge, focused on the barber type. There's tons of low mintage key dates, scarce dates, and choice unk, full of gems. Gems in the metaphorical sense, at least, low mintage dates that you can have for under 10 grand. Where if there were, say, a more prolific series like Seated or rather Standing Liberty or Walking Liberty halves, they'd be far more expensive. So It's a really cool set. It goes to show you what you can achieve with years of painstaking, discerning collecting, and I'm sure that it's going to sell for record amounts. So, congrats to D.L.
Yeah,
Larson.
we'll keep an eye
Uh,
on it.
I just looked this up. I thought it was pretty crazy. It says it's ranked number 3 of all-time finest PCGS registry sets for a Barber coin collection with major varieties, only behind the
I
legendary
believe it.
D.L. Hansen and Louis Elisberg sets.
I believe it.
Wow, this is cool. I remember hearing anecdotes or reading anecdotes about how pretty much everybody hated Charles Barber and his coins, and they just kind of had to live with him.
Contemporarily, it was not a popular design, but it's been the subject of a recent renaissance, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I don't hate him. I think
I like
it's
the
sort
proofs.
of like it's akin to a Morgan dollar design to me, kind of. Yeah, the proofs are awesome.
You know what
With the
happened
really
with
deep
barbers
cameo, it's
is
like a yeah.
a lot of people sold sets at the same time who had like very top, near top sets, and it kind of suppressed the price. And there's been a lull in the barber market for quite some time. But I really love the proofs because they've toned like amazingly over the years. And some of those coins in the proof series, it's just, they're gorgeous, you know, the colors, amazing. Tissue toning, like random, all different types of toning.
Yeah. The, the one that comes to mind, I have an image of a barber dollar, and it's just like super deep cameo. The face of the coin is like almost blacked out, and then the Liberty's face is like bright white, and just it looked like a chalkboard, like someone had
Like a
drawn
portrait,
Liberty
yeah.
onto the coin on a
Yeah.
chalkboard. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Awesome.
Very
Is
cool.
there anything coming up on you guys' end you want to mention? Anything cool happening in the coin world for Charles or Kurt? I've got a documentary I'm working on that's going to come out next week.
Just
but
here.
Let's talk to you guys first.
Fantastic.
Kurt, what's going on? Tell us.
Just gearing up for the Baltimore show.
You're going to be at Baltimore? Nice.
So, are we going to ride scooters again, Kurt?
Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
I'm
Jeff,
excited
it's
for
going to be
this, man.
you. Jeff, it's going to be you, me, Isaac, Chuck at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Washington, D.C., just down the street from the Capitol. This is the big surprise, guys. The Baltimore Whitman Show special. We're going to do a special filming. Don't worry. It's all covered. And it's going to be great.
Can't wait.
But we're going to have
Let's do
fun.
it. Let's do it.
Don't disclose
The last
too
time
much,
we
we're
did a
gonna get robbed.
Waldorf Astoria, we were at the Long Beach show.
Yeah, I don't even
excited.
remember that. I was there. There are photos of me there. I was not there. I was physically there.
Well, I will leave you guys with one thing. I saw a quote the other day that I thought was pretty cool with gold the way it is. And it said, gold is money, everything else is just credit. And that was actually from the American financier, J.P. Morgan, during his 1912 congressional testimony. So, you know, gold is money, everything else is credit.
There you go.
Very cool.
Well said.